Oshie and James Schwartz, a new look first line for coach Ken Hitchcock with Devin Dubnyk with on home ice this year. Goaltenders Halak goes for the second a game on home ice this year is 3-1. Devin Dubnyk, the 26-year-old, goes for the Oilers. Last night stopped 34 of 35 in the 5.
Edmmonton seeks letters.
Between the two top points leaders in the National Hockey League, Connor McDavid and
0%
Vladimir
scroll.
Tarasenko.
And now one victory. Blues hockey is Roman in 10. And time to check tonight's starting goaltenders. Halak goes for the fourth consecutive game on home ice this year is 3-1. Devin Dubnyk, the 26-year-old, goes for the Oilers. Last night stopped 34 of 35 in the 5-1 victory. Blues hockey is brought to you by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. And right off the opening face-off, we get an offside. The Blues with Blackley and Taylor Hall in by Nick Schultz and Justin Schultz, no relation, on defense. Then the Blues get it back for Pietrangelo. Comes to center and then smashed back in by Jackman. And a quick change by the Blues. And it's handled by Nick Schultz.
And you notice the Blues have got the pink laces or pink tape, as it's pink at the rink here tonight at Scott Trade Center.
And they throw it all the way down. Hemsky takes a hit back to the goal from Shattenkirk. And now Hemsky again. Worked over by Shattenkirk. Shared on defense with Redden. Now back of the goal, Gagne in front. Good coverage there, but the Blues get a stick in the lane, and Shattenkirk breaks it up, and here's Stewart away for the Blues. Down his off wing. Schmid back of the goal. Now he gives it up, and David Perron in there. There's Perron. Gets it near the line. Berglund, good job to hold it in. And now the Blues go off on a change. Oilers played in Dallas last night. Got to their hotel about 2 in the morning. Oilers played in Dallas last night. Got to their hotel about 2 in the morning. It's the third game of a 9-game road trip over 17 days.
They did well. They lost in overtime against the mighty Blackhawks, and then they turned around and won in Dallas for 3 or 4 points.
And Vladdy's supposed to have a shot, but he was shouldered off the puck by Polak. And the Blues shoot it down the ice. And Ryan Whitney, who's been a healthy scratch for 4 straight games. Back defensively on the forecheck, D'Agostini. Puck pops to center ice, and it's grabbed by Yakupov. A shot, and he hits the outside of the Blues goal. The 19-year-old, the first overall pick in last year's draft, Dale Yakupov, number 64. And back on the line, a drive by Justin Schultz. That was tipped off the glass. And now recovered by D'Agostini. Hands it on to Russell. And the Blues get it across the red line and in deep. Adam Buckle his first crack with the Blues this year. And his mom and dad are watching in Victoria, BC. Kept in by Pietrangelo. Now Pietrangelo works back to the goal. Here's Cracknell and a shot, and that goes right through a maze of players, and a glove save by Dubnyk.
Great play there by Adam Cracknell. He's got a wicked snapshot right there as we take a look at our Toyota keys to the game on this Friday night here at Scott Trade Center. And not the same exuberant crowd as we saw last night, but you've got to play for the guy beside you. They're going through a little lump on the road right now, and it's about what you're willing to do for your teammate. And tighten up in the neutral zone as well. Those will be some big keys in this game as the Blues will embark on a big road swing after this one.
Here comes Everly, a shot. That goes high and wide. As Hitchcock told us in our meeting, we're in some rough seas right now. We got to bring the boat in.
No cavalry coming, huh?
I don't believe so. And Block plays one to the corner for Pietrangelo. And now on to Oshie. Center ice for Berglund. Wheels into the Edmmonton zone for Jackman, a shot. And that's blocked by the stick of Jeff Petrie. And it goes out of play.
Now the Blues coming into the 5-man unit on a line change as well. So good support by the man with the puck there, Berglund, on our Plaza Tire Service replay. Now he's going to utilize the left side of the ice, which is your weak side defenseman, Jackman, jumping up into the play. And although that puck gets deflected, you like to see the Blues come out up and back in 5-man units. And we'll see how this line gets going, too. Berglund and with Perron on his left and Chris Stewart on the right.
Season low 21 21 shots last night, as Darren mentioned, and you can expect and hope that the Blues will get more pucks toward the net and more traffic in front of Devin Dubnyk. And that's chopped away, and we'll get a face-off back at center ice.
Well, for Ralph Kruger, who took over the reins for Tom Rennie, who's now an assistant coach with the Detroit Red Wings. Kruger in his first season got a feel for it last year, working alongside veteran defenseman Steve Smith, who had a great NHL career. But there looked to be a very well-organized neutral zone team right now, and I think they've done a good job of getting Neil Yakupov on a line with two veterans, Belanger and Smith. And Yakupov's got some exciting game to him. He's got a good shot, good release, and he's a player that the Blues certainly will have to watch.
A shot into the glove of Dubnyk, and prior to joining the Oilers last year, Kruger spent 13 years as the head coach of the Swiss national team. He's coached in 3 Olympics and 12 World Championships.
I got a chance to know Ralph during the Olympics and seeing what he did with the Swiss program, and he's well prepared to be a head coach in the NHL. They took a long time to decide last year where they were going to head in the offseason after Tom Rennie was let go, and even some whispers out there that they spoke with Mark Messier about a possibility of becoming a coach. But Ralph Kruger is your head coach in Edmonton.
Here's Cracknell, a turnaround shot, and Cracknell's shot tipped on the way through. Cracknell 13 goals this year in Peoria.
He's got a good shot, and of course he's not the fastest player. He knows that, but he's always around the puck. He's smart with it. Good play to get it back to the point. He protects the puck well. He's 6'2", 210 pounds, and he does have some very good offensive instinct.
Good at mom and dad, Pat and Pete. And Grandma Patricia watching tonight in Victoria, British Columbia.
You remember that journey they were on to see play his first game at Joe Louis Arena? They had to fly from Victoria to Las Vegas to Minnie to get to Detroit in time for the game, and he rifled one right off the pipe on his very first shift in the NHL. It was awesome.
But in 26 NHL games, has 4 goals and 8 points. Blues cleared back to center ice. And the former Blackhawk, Ben Eager, back to get it. He had a goal last night in their 5-1 win. Now Nick Schultz ahead. That's blocked in Backus. Has some time and sends it in. Dubnyk to play it. Puts it on the glass. Kicked free by Backus. On the cycle, Backus in front. Rebound. And hammered away by Schwartz. And Dubnyk kept it out as the Blues went to the net with a vengeance there. It almost made a early dent in the twine behind Dubnyk.
Yeah, good job by Schwartz just to get there, get his nose there, to get right into the blue paint on a good work down low by Oshie and Backus.
There's Schwartz again, a shot, and a pass saved by Dubnyk. Now Schwartz for Oshie. Speed comes in number 5, along with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Blues get it back, and the pass by Oshie is tipped to center ice, and the Blues have to clear the zone. And then thrown back in by Berglund. Here's Perron off the bench. He gets to a loose puck. Chased by Nugent-Hopkins. Out high, Redden for Shattenkirk. 5:35 gone, first period. Shots are 5-0 for the Blues. Played by Taylor Hall. That goes high. And back into the Blues end.
It's a good play by Taylor Hall there. He's obviously an offensively gifted player. They're in trouble in their own zone, but he uses the glass and gets it out of play.
Now Bergman in for Redden. To the side of the goal. That's knocked away with the stick of Dubnyk. Oilers get the puck up the left wing side. Jones to center ice, but now Perron spins it back in behind his own goal. Recovered there by Polak.
Well, back-to-back good shifts, and that's what you want, is you want continuation, keeping the puck in deep and making sure you're all on the same page in that area.
And a shot by D'Agostini, and again another shot that gets through. As the Blues have just put a lot of pucks on net. They would love the first goal. Big first hit by Berglund. No score here in the first period.
Well, getting on the same page early on. So for the captain, Dave Backus. And when you see the start here, here's Backus here. Now watch where he's going to end up on this play. So he supports it. The goaltender, Devin Dubnyk, plays it there. And now it's game on the cycle game. Very difficult to stop or eliminate Backus once he gets on that cycle. And then Jaden Schwartz, as our Plaza Tire Service replay shows it, driving hard to the net. And this is going to be trouble all night long because Jaden Schwartz is trying to get around Justin Schultz. with Nick Schultz on the doorstep.
Again, no relation. Justin Schultz was a sought-after free agent out of Wisconsin. Originally drafted by Anaheim, but never signed by the Ducks.
That was a loophole in the system right there. You feel bad for Anaheim. They obviously made part of their future. And in fact, at one point, they made a trade with the Toronto Maple Leafs and the young defenseman there. But Justin Schultz ends up from a handful of teams picking the Edmonton Oilers. And boy, is he an offensive phenom. He's got great instincts, and the Blues are going to have to really watch him. The wingers are going to have their head on his swivel because he jumps in from the point position a lot.
Last year had 44 points in 37 games with Wisconsin. And here is Nick Schultz, former Wild defenseman.
The defenseman I was thinking of was Jake Gardner, that's now a Toronto Maple Leaf and once a first-round draft pick of Anaheim.
And that's an icy call.
You would expect, in back-to-back nights, a bit of a slow start, especially for Edmonton. They're defenseman. The defenseman I was thinking of was Jake Gardner, that's now a Toronto Maple Leaf and once a first-round draft pick of Anaheim.
And that's an icy call. Nick Schultz, former Wild defenseman.
The defenseman I was thinking of was Jake Gardner, that's now a Toronto Maple Leaf and once a first-round draft pick of Anaheim.
Zach Cassian.
And that's an icy call.
You would expect, in back-to-back nights, a bit of a slow start, especially for Edmonton. They're in no hurry to do anything, of Anaheim. A bit of a slow start, especially for Edmonton. They're in no hurry to do anything. Their goaltender, Devin Dubnik's covered a lot of loose pucks. I'm sure the defenseman like Nick Schultz, the veteran, is telling him, let's not keep the play alive here. Let's shut it down and keep it out of this game for as long as we can.
Yeah, it's been really cautious.
You would expect, in back-to-back nights, a bit of a slow start, especially for Edmonton. They're in no hurry to do anything. Their goaltender, Devin Dubnik's covered a lot of loose pucks. I'm sure the defenseman, like Nick Schultz, the veteran, is telling him, let's not keep the play alive here. Let's shut it down and keep the crowd out of this game for as long as we can.
Yeah, it's been really cautious, more than quiet. I think very, very quietly cautious maybe is the better word.
Quietly cautious. I like that, Bernie.
Here comes Baron Jackson. Good hard pass to Backus. He got drilled out. He moves in a shot. That's not through, and a save by Dubnik.
The shoulder to the stick there of Dave for
And
rebound the net.
on the way through. Fractal in behind the Oiler goal, and somebody, I believe,
And fourth line, but Bean spent a lot. He's really looked good on this line.
here's Shattenkirk. He's chased by Ben Eager. Nice play by Shattenkirk. On to Fractal, hands it to Reeves. And Reeves gets it deep. Fractal after it against big Jeff Petrie. Up comes Free. Shattenkirk. He activates it to the right point. Now back to Reeves. Across for Redden. Redden a shot. That's taken by Fractal. Fractal gets it again. And now we get an interference penalty. A bit of a pick. Set up in the corner by Reeves. And he'll go. 75 interference.
After a real good shift, moving the puck through the neutral zone, now Ken Hitchcock's squad is going to go on the penalty kill right there. He's definitely impeding the progress of Ladislav Sneed and getting in on the puck. And Reeves is only trying to go to the open area to get maybe a reverse cycle right there, but instead he clearly does pick him. And now it's going to be power play for Edmonton, where they're 22.5% for the year.
Sixth best in the entire league. It's Whitney for Yakupov. First overall pick. There's Jones in front. First power play of the evening goes to the Oilers. Yakupov looks across, but Eberle is watched by Sobotka. And now back of the goal. It is Gagne right in front. Whitney a shot. That was blocked, I think, by the leg of Backus. And finally, over by Backus. And that trickles down the ice.
And Yakupov was going to get a delay of game penalty over on the far side. We haven't seen a player hold on to the puck that long for a while.
And he was thinking himself, too. It was quite entertaining.
And you saw the numbers. The Blues have killed 10 in a row over their last 4 games. And 45 gone in the Reeves minor.
The trust that Bradshaw has in Chris Porter as well on the penalty kill.
Hey, Guama.
Your bag is on your bed. What? Get your stuff together.
I have my Oxford. I have my voice clear. I have my charger. Mama. Guama. Okay, cuckoo.
Goes to the Oilers. Yakupov looks across, but Eberle is watched by Sabotka. And now back of the goal. It is Gagne right in front. Whitney a shot. That was blocked, I think, by the leg of Backus. And fired high by Backus. And that trickles down the ice.
Yakupov was going to get a delay of game penalty over on the far side. Bert, I haven't seen a player hold on to the puck that long for a while.
And he was geeking himself, too. It was quite entertaining.
And you saw the numbers. The Blues have killed 10 in a row over their last 4 games. And 45 gone in the Reeves minor.
And you see the trust that Brad Shaw has in Chris Porter as well on the penalty kill. He did a good job in the American Hockey League and here last year.
Now Alex Hemsky would have moved, and a save by Halak. I believe he got his arm or shoulder on the shot by Hemsky, who has wicked hands. Now across Hemsky again. Back for Justin Schultz. Schultz winds up, fires it, left hand save by Halak. And then Pollock to the corner for Porter. And Chris Porter out-muscles an Oiler and clears it away.
Boy, you cannot get caught looking at the puck with Hemsky, that's for sure. Boy, did he ever give Roman the old 9 of hearts right there with that nifty little toe drag.
Oh, banger was unbelievable.
And maybe off the goalpost as well. Now Justin Schultz. And a cross and a drive by Nugent Hopkins. Missed everything.
That's 2 good scoring chances that if indeed Hemsky's missed, and that one right there, those are 2 quality chances that they missed the net on.
Yeah, I thought Hemsky's was just up over the top of the net. Yeah, but what a move! Holy man!
Made it look like a ball hockey game.
I mean, he went from. I mean, it was amazing.
Blues have killed it off. They allowed 2 shots on goal. It's still scoreless. Here's Stewart at the line now for Berglund. Good twist, one back of the goal. Reeves in a battle there with Schmid. And Reeves emerges for Pietrangelo. The blast and a pad save by Dubnyk with a Berglund screen. I mean, he was right in Dubnyk's kitchen.
That was a smart play by Pietrangelo. Eager doesn't get in the shooting lane. Pietrangelo changes just a little bit, and he's able to get a good tough shot on goal.
Now the Blues on the attack. D'Agostini in deep for Perron. Here's one off the puck by Schmid. D'Agostini knocked a man down, got away with it. That was Petrie who gets up. 9:15 to go in the first period. Shots 8-2 for the Blues. And we're scoreless. Pollock's pass. And now recovered by Sabotka. Pollock tries the other side. That's tipped in there by Perron. Dubnyk will rush it back to the goal rather casually for Nick Schultz.
Yeah, I thought he was going to cover it up, and I think his defenseman did as well.
Hammered in by Hemsky. And the first man back is Wade Redden, who's been a healthy scratch for 3 straight. He takes Cole's spot on the lineup tonight. Now Shattenkirk. Tic-tac-toe into the zone. Tipped by Sabotka. Gagne back. Throws it off the boards and back to center ice. And rugby scrum near the Oiler bench. Blues get it. Backus. Schwartz to Oshie. Back to Backus. A drive, and a one-timer was just wide. And now Oshie to the line for Redden. That shot tipped just wide by Backus. And now for Schwartz. This line has shown some early chemistry. First ever appearance in the game. Redden a shot, and again it's blocked in front. And then a cross-check by Gagne, and that will be called. As he cross-checked Schwartz to the ice. And the Blues will operate on a power play in a scoreless game.
Real good give and go there with this all WCHA college line, and Jaden Schwartz looking good so far. They're feeding off one another. Backus plays it back to Redden. Redden twice in this game has had a good job of getting it through, but that one blocked by Gagne. Doesn't seem like much, that little nudge. 2 of the smaller players in the game, but Jaden Schwartz doesn't embellish it, but obviously your skates are rockers, so anytime you get pushed from behind, you're going to fall forward, and that one didn't seem like much, and I know that Gagne was frustrated, but he puts a cross-check in on him from behind.
With power play struggling to play 0 for the last 13. But they remain second best in the league at 28.8%. Here's Oshie. Hands on a pass. Oilers get it. And they clear it. The Oilers on the kill very good. 4th best. 87.4%.
That's not unlike the always reliable TJ Oshie with that kind of play. A simple play moving it to his right, just rolled off his blade.
Pietrangelo in for Oshie. He'll drop it off for Perron. Sets up on the half boards. Into Oshie. Flips it back for Pietrangelo. Thought about shooting. Now a wrist shot. Hit by Backus. Not a lot of busted on that one. Oilers shoot it around the glass. And it trickles to center ice.
And keep in mind, the Blues are without 3 players on their second power play unit, with still Tarasenko out, and obviously Steen and Andy McDonald.
Perron trying to drop pass. Instead, drags the puck back to the right point. On this Blues power play. To the front for Pietrangelo. To Shattenkirk. Blues had too many men there and really got away with it.
They had too many men for an extended period of time.
was at the blue line, skated off, and there were 5 other guys on the ice. And now we get a whistle.
Well,
he called the too many men, guys.
Yeah, but how did he call it this late?
I don't know. Maybe he heard you guys.
No, there was still 6. Stewart was still on the ice.
St. Louis bench minor for too many men on the ice.
It happened twice. Am I not mistaken? Bernie, I think it happened twice. So here we go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 in front of the net. That was the first time. Now watch Saboka as this rolls along. Saboka says, oh, we got too many men on this. Watch it. He goes off the ice. There's no call here. The play went on now for an extended period of time. Came back out again, and they did another line change here.
It did happen twice.
20 minutes. 20 minutes.
We were talking to Hitchcock.
20 minutes.
And as you said, they did it twice.
20 minutes, 58 seconds of 1 hour,
So we go 4 on 4. Here comes Oshie. And he lost his speed, and the Oilers get it back. Then Eric Belanger. Now picked up by Redden. In 10 seconds, Gagne returns, and the Oilers go back on the power play. Shattenkirk now for Sabotka. 2 on 2. Trying to go wide against Justin Schultz. Now Sabotka. And a man cutting. That was Pietrangelo. Now he gets it to him. The shot. And it was blocked out high. And it comes near the goal and swatted away by Dubnik. Now the Oilers in the power play for the second time tonight. As Gagne gains the line for Yakupov. Under pressure from Pietrangelo, and he gives it up.
Good pressure there by Pietrangelo, and David Backus knew exactly where Yakupov was going to put it, and he picked it off easily.
And a shot by Backus, goes wide. Got Nickel back on the goal. And creates some havoc behind the Oiler goal. And now it comes ahead for Yakupov. To Everly. He is a superb playmaker, is Everly. The Blues break it up, and again it goes down the ice.
Yeah, Everly's got some really good hands, but he's not a guy usually that does what he just did right there, and that is, while with the man advantage, trying to one-on-one a player right inside the blue line.
Now 22 to go in the power play. Long stretch pass for Hemsky. He'll tip it back to the goal. And Shattenkirk gets there. Oilers recover to the line, and Whitney cannot hold it in.
Boy, Whitney's been a storm of controversy and conversation with how often he's been scratched, a healthy scratch. 5 of the last 7 games, including the last 4.
And now the Blues have killed it off. No Oilers shots. They're 0 for 2. And Oshie has it. He doesn't clear it. Nugent Hopkins kept it in.
Berglund's stick was broken. He's trying to use his skates to push it over towards him.
Now it is Petrie. His shot. And that was blocked by Oshie. And the Blues get it back. They've outshot the Oilers 8-2. But we're scoreless. Oshie now for Berglund. And he gets the red line and sends it in. Last year, the Blues won 3 of 4 against the Oilers. Winning both at home. As a matter of fact, they've won the last 5 at Scottrade against Edmonton.
9-2 in the last 11.
Now Justin Schultz. Rather casual pass there. Picked off. Perron snaps it back in. Dubnik can't stop it. And then run around the far boards by Petrie. Oilers to center. Belanger now for Justin Schultz. Angles one in the corner. Here's Leonard Petrell, number 37. He's run off the puck by Jackman. Stewart has it, can't clear it. Now Petrell back in the goal. Shows a big body right there. Faced by Jackman. Turned over, and Stewart up the middle. And he's got a partial break. And a shot, and it goes just high as he had to hurry the shot. He had good speed there.
Great job of pushing the puck ahead, getting it the last second. No, he's not going to be able to stick handle or bring it back on his blade very much. And he just flicks it just high over the blocker side.
Now the Blues, after the change, Adam Crackle is after it along with Reeves. 3 minutes left here in the opening period. Nickel trying to hold it in. He can't. And now recovered at center by the veteran Nickel. Oh, that shot from Nickel on the dump-in may have hit Crackle up high. And we get a whistle on that offside. Under 3 to play. Opening period. Blues and Oilers are scoreless. No score late in the first period. Let's head downstairs between the benches for this Bommarito Automotive Update.
Well, Packer, you talked about Chris Stewart, about how smart it was. Just use your one hand, push the puck forward. That's a lot of times you don't need a stick handle, and certainly Chris Stewart shows this here. Just getting the puck, look at, just using the one hand, stretching out, and then getting a good shot away. Unfortunately, it went up over top of the net, but good work. You don't always have to stick handle the puck. You can push it ahead. As long as you get there quicker than the defenseman, you're in good shape.
You can skate a lot faster if you don't stick handle, right, Bernie?
Yes, you can.
As the Hitch said last year, you can't dust off the puck all the time.
Here's Taylor Hall, a pass in front, tip, rebound, and Schultz, I believe, knocked it in. Or somebody. Hall was there as well, and the Oilers take a 1-0 lead.
It was a left-handed Hall sniffing around right there. He's got the long stick, and he was going to his right. The puck squirted back to his left, and Taylor Hall clearly snapped this one in to the blocker side of Jaro Halak. Scramble in front of the net. The Edmonton Oilers do a good job of fighting off on the corner. But look at the support. The battle's there, but there's 2 Oilers right there. And here comes Justin Schultz, as I talked about. Moves up in the play, starts that up after the forward support of the puck on the far side. And here's the very end of it here. Justin Schultz is there, but it's going to be the stick rate coming up there. And it's sniffing. Ball was
25 minutes. 25 minutes. 25
Jaro
minutes.
Halak. Scramble in front of the net. The Edmonton Oilers do a good job of fighting off on the corner. But look at the support. The battle's there, but there's 2 Oilers right there. Forward support of the puck on the far side. Snaps this one home.
His 4th of the year, first in 5 games. The goal at 17:30.
Suspended for 2 games for that knee incident against Minnesota's Cal Clutterbuck. I nearly screwed that up.
I didn't know where you were going with that one. Here's Whitney, a shot, scores! 2 quick goals!
17:30. Suspended for 2 games for that knee incident against Minnesota's Cal Clutterbuck. I nearly screwed that up.
I didn't know where you were going with that one.
Suspended for 2 games for that knee incident against going to be winning. He does
Whitney first, and the Oilers, and that got to be demoralizing for the Blues.
that is throwing the monkey off your back. You know.
Now, Meade fires one off the far wall. Covered now by Russell. So Hall and Whitney scored 23 seconds apart. And Backus, he'll twist one into the Oilers zone. And on the forecheck is Schwartz. But the Oilers get to it, and Sam Gagne works one to center ice. Now Hemsky, into Jones, who's behind the Blues defense. And again, an outnumbered attack there for Edmonton. Final minute here in the first period. Oilers back on the line for Schultz. And a shot by Justin Schultz. That was blocked. Quickly now to Backus. He moves to the neutral zone. Now Backus to the front. Tragel in the area, but it was knocked away. And now the Oilers and Hemsky's around Perron. Carves a break. And a save by Halak on a breakaway by Hemsky.
Good save with 2D up in the play. David Perron, the lone man back, and he gets beat to the puck by Hemsky, the tricky forward. Good save by Halak.
And now Sam Gagne, that drive back against the grain, and a save by Halak.
These are quality scoring chances that the Edmonton Oilers are getting. Bernie, you'd like a handful of those, wouldn't you? Going left to right or right to left in the high slot.
This is just getting way too scrambly. I mean, the Blues really now all of a sudden lost their composure, and now all of a sudden the floodgates are opening.
Here's Taylor Hall, drop pass, and that will do it. So the Blues played pretty well for the majority of that period, but the Oilers get 2 late goals. Hall from Everly and Schultz And then the Oilers get some goals. Hall from Everly and Schultz. And then Whitney from Smith and Yakupov. 2 goals in 23 seconds.
We saw that last night against the Chicago Blackhawks, 12 seconds in, and a goal being scored on the rush from the defensive zone of Chicago right to the goal mouth scramble that was scored by Taves. And here we've seen it, an explosion of sorts for consecutive shifts by Edmonton. And that's a big save right there by Halak.
So it's 2-0 after 1. Let's go to Jim Hayes.
All right, a couple of goals in a span of 23 seconds, and the Blues are down 2-0 after 1 period of play. Here's what's coming up in the SAPOD GM Country Intermission Report. We'll check out our Bud Light What's on Tap. We'll look ahead at the Blues' upcoming schedule. They're on the road for 5 straight. We'll take a look at high school hockey. CBC and SLU High are set to battle for all the marbles. Plus, we'll check in with Bernie Federko as well. We'll get Bernie's take on the first period of play. Right now, Blues in a bit of a hole. They're down 2-0. Oilers lead it after 1 period of play. Back with the intermission report after this. You're watching Blues Hockey on Fox Sports Midwest.
With the first 6 shots on goal in the opening period, but they can't find the back of the net, and then they give up 2 goals on the rush late in the period, 23 seconds, and they're down by 2.
Yeah, they're looking for that break early on. They had a couple of good chances from the point, and Devin Dubnyk made a couple of good saves, especially through traffic on those points. But obviously, in transition, the Blues have got to do a better job of defending the rush. It's happening far too often, and obviously you need that third man high. You need that third man coming back hard. The Blues last year established themselves as one of the toughest teams in terms of back-checking. But we have a moment right now as the linesman's fixing up the crease of Devin Dubnyk for our first bank first take. And here are the Edmonton Oilers and the high draft picks. Neil Yakupov obviously had an assist in that period. Nugent Hopkins was first overall in 11. Taylor Hall first overall in 2010. PRV, Everly, and Gagne also high picks that have developed into good players. PRV, a healthy scratch for this game.
And a shot by Hall is off the side of the goal. Blues Hockey brought to you by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. Underway in the second period. Oilers with a 2-0 lead. Pass to center for Everly. And that's played back in. Eye of Park. Starting Carp Never. Coverage brought to you by Fairmount Park is on Fox Sports Midwest. There's Dubnyk. Plays one to the far side. One is in on the forecheck along with Stewart. And Berglund, the other member of that forward line. Now Berglund. Out near the line. He gets away from a man. And a drive got through and a save by Dubnyk. And then Stewart put the rebound wide. And the Blues after it. Stewart comes up with it. Out near the line. Now to the corner for Perron. And Perron worked over by Petrie. And then Berglund and Gagne engage in a battle. Now Perron spins, trying to find an opening. Here's Perron. Wanders out high. Takes the spot of Shattenkirk. Fires it back to the goal for Berglund. Good offensive shift here by the Blues. Berglund in front. And a shot by Shattenkirk. Hit a leg on the way through. And now Chris Porter gets free back of the goal. Now Porter to the front. And Hemsky stripped him of the puck off the boards, but kept in by Sobotka. And now Porter. The Oilers have not had a change in the Blues now with their second offensive group on the shift. D'Agostini drive. And a save by Dubnyk. And they get the whistle with a big scramble in front.
When you're 6'5", like Devin Dubnyk is, you're able to cover a lot of real estate, even going down on that loose puck right there. That was 1 minute and 16 seconds of zone time in the offensive zone for the St. Louis Blues. It's something we became accustomed to last year was one line after another, keeping the puck in deep and making it difficult. Ladislav Schmid falls awkwardly on his goaltender. Some good puck support there. Berglund strips the puck, and now he's in a pretty good spot. Fires it in there, just gets through right there in the rebound, but there's Wade Redden on the doorstep. By that point, the third man high in the offensive zone went for a line change. Sabotka comes off the ice, and they keep that rotation going, giving the Edmonton Oilers plenty of fits in their own zone to begin this second period.
And now Sabotka will take the face-off. He is between D'Agostini and Porter. Face-offs were dead even in that first period. And Belanger, a very good face-off in, wins it for Edmonton. And then chipped in by Ryan Smith. There's a lock up the far side. And then Belanger steps in, back of the line. Hammered to the corner by Theo Peckham. And now Russell gets it away from Smith. And Chris Russell to center ice. And that's off the glass and now into the netting. And they'll break the face-off to center ice.
A bad break there for the Blues as they get the puck in deep. It hits the top of the dashboard, comes up over top of the glass, and then into the netting. And we'll see what...
There seems to be a lot more jump there in this before now.
And I would think, Bernie, and you and I are just experienced of being in that situation before, that it's not a coach that comes in and lightly says something after that period. It's the players' ownership group in that room.
Yep.
You would think that sparks the debate where the coach just sits back and says, are they saying the right things in there? And if they are, just let them say it.
Now the Oilers bottom man rush. Petrell in with Whitney. And Petrell a shot, and he whistled that one high. On a 2-on-1. And now Cracknell deep in his own zone. Redden for Shattenkirk. And then back to center ice. Shot around by Cracknell. In on the forecheck against Justin Schultz. Centers it, then played it back as a drive. And a save by Dubnyk.
That's a wicked snapper there by David Backes, and it was right in line under the bar and in, but Dubnyk just comes out, another first-round draft pick of the Edmonton Oilers, who is now blossoming into a number one. Good pressure there by Cracknell getting in there on Schultz, and then a nifty little backhand pass by Adam Cracknell. And the more he plays like this, the more he's going to get on the ice.
And a shot by Jackman. That hurt Taylor Hall.
Oh, did it ever.
He goes off. Really off the hand as Backes gets the puck to the corner. Shot around by Dick Schultz, and the Oilers do tip it away.
Hall got that right in the, it was upper arm, like almost the shoulder, John. Right above the elbow, I think. So he was hurt.
It was a blocker save, huh?
Yeah, without moving the arm. It's a natural blocker shot.
Now it is Sam Gandhi on the back check. Schwartz breaks it up, and the Blues have numbers into the zone. On Feroce, cuts in a shot. Schwartz is right. He scores! James Schwartz. Gandhi on the back check. Schwartz breaks it up, and the Blues have numbers into the zone. On Feroce, cuts in a shot. Schwartz is right. He scores! James Schwartz.
Oh, yeah, without moving the arm. It was a natural blocker shot.
Save, huh?
Yeah, without moving the arm. It was a natural blocker shot.
Now it is Sam Gandhi on the back check. Schwartz breaks it up, and the Blues have numbers into the zone. On Feroce, cuts in a shot. Schwartz is right. He scores! James Schwartz.
In this top, who just NHL, they're here on hand tonight.
On for Stewart. It's on. And shots 4-0 Blues in the second period. Now Perron to Russell. On for Stewart. Hits the Oiler line. He'll chip it by Schmid. And then back on the goal for Perron. Leaves it for Berglund. And then tipped on to Stewart. Stewart centers it, but the Oilers break it up. Good job there by Jeff Petrie. And here come the Oilers. Yakupov 4-on-3. Yakupov pulls up to the fronter shot. Up in the air. That's gloved by Halak.
Halak goes on the
good change to it. The score offensive zone usually leads to good work. The offensive zone. And Blues finally get a break there for a change too. That puck bounced right to Schwartz.
What does Hitch like to say? You've got to check the score.
Yep.
Yeah. Now Cracknell to the line. Shattenkirk a shot. Off Eager, and Eager's off to the races. And a lock. Gambles and wins. gets his stick back.
He looked like Dominic Hasek coming out of the net like that. Good stuff.
He barely beat Eager to that puck. And that got the crowd into it here.
I haven't seen Yarrow skate that fast.
He's got pretty good wheels. Look out here. Jordan Eberle with it. And the backhander goes wide as the Blues get sloppy here. And now Redden up the middle. And this goes all the way down and will go on net, so no icing.
Well, those are exciting moments as a goaltender. Really, if you hesitate at all, you've got to stay back. But if you're on your toes and you read it right away, then you can go. But I've been embarrassed a ton of times by making the wrong gamble there.
Great pass by Jackman into Schwartz and a backhander and fought off by Dubnyk. Kept in by Pietrangelo. And his shot hit a leg, goes out of play off Taylor Hall. And we'll get a face-off to the Oilers' end.
That old saying, when in doubt, get out. Well, for this kind of play here, Jarro Halak's got a decision here. Am I going or am I staying right here? And he decides to go for the long poke check on Ben Eager, number 55, trying for it, and then good hand-eye coordination by Shattenkirk to bat it out in midair. Cracknell then swipes his stick right back to him, and it's off to the races. Pretty exciting moment right there.
Well, Shattenkirk was helping him out after he toe-picked himself there.
At the boards right by you, huh?
Yes, because there's no way Ben Eager's going to beat anybody to a puck unless you fall down, and that's exactly what happened.
Kevin's dad, Pat Shattenkirk, is in the house tonight, as he was last night watching his son play over the weekend.
Papa Shatty, huh?
Really nice man. That goes out of play. 14:05 left.
Twitter handle
second period.
Pop back deuces.
Well, it's March 1st, and that means madness for college basketball. But before the big dance begins, check out Missouri Valley Conference Tournament action once again. It will be held at Scottsboro March 7th to 10th. And individual game or all session tickets are on sale now at the Ford box office. And the Oilers step into the circle after that face-off. Here comes Hemsky in with Jones, and a shot by Hemsky hit a leg and went wide of the goal. Off the boards, Porter trying to get there with Sabotka. 2-on-1 now. It's Sabotka to Porter, and the pass was elevated, and Porter couldn't knock it down. That was a hard pass to handle. And Gagne back in for Hemsky. Jackman blocked the pass, and then brushed along by Pietrangelo. Oilers pinching, they get caught again. And the Blues, Porter in for Sabotka. In front, and he was turned the wrong way and couldn't get it from his skate to his stick.
Two plays there, one by Sabotka over to Porter. Originally, it was just too high for him. If he had a lacrosse stick, he could have handled the first one, and then that one there was just behind him. So two pretty good opportunities squandered, but good speed going towards Edmonton's net.
Maybe too many men, Bernie. I believe we got a call from the linesman down there. Schwartz a second. Has cut the Oilers lead.
It looked like you guys controlled most of this first period, and then you give up a couple of quick goals. What did you tell the guys after the first period?
Well, we got to keep doing the things we're doing well, but we can't get beat back up the ice. They've got some odd man rushes because we've tried to be a little bit too on our toes with F3, and they burn us a couple times. So we're going to get scoring chances if we just stay disciplined with our third forward.
Thanks, Hitch.
And the Blues get another bench binder for too many men. Oilers 0 for 2 tonight. I thought at first it was against Edmonton, but the Blues was one to get nailed for another bench binder. That's the fifth in the last 7 games. Hard to believe.
At 6:21, the start line number 25.
Backdoor feed for Nugent Hopkins off his leg and out of play.
Well, let's go back to it again and just see exactly how obvious it is with this too many men on the ice. At 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that is 6 right there on the ice, in the middle of the ice. It's not even a line change. There has got to be some giddy up and go on that bench and some alertness and communication.
Well, there's got to be a problem with the line changes. When the line changes so often are happening, there's got to be, some, as you said, lack of communication. Because everybody's told who's going for who. And I'm shocked that this can happen. And actually, it's the third time it happened, Panger, because it was the last time it happened. They had twice that they had too many men on the ice.
That'll Blues short-handed, but Berglund goes just offside. And that too many men was just as egregious, if not worse, than the one in the first period. I mean, it's not even close near that bench.
No, not even close. You've got to be sharp on that bench. Obviously, the coach's job is to direct traffic, is to be clear and concise and let everybody know who's on the ice, and the players have to be sharp. But that wasn't. These aren't even close calls.
So the Oilers 0 for 2 on the power play.
I get the Blues are struggling scoring goals, but you can't trick these referees with adding the extra man on without calling your goalie.
And Gagne back in on the corner. Pollock back there, but Gagne was on his own side of center ice. So icy call.
You know, it's interesting, guys, on that last too many men on the ice, this penalty here was 3 defensemen were on the ice. I mean, and that's really should never happen because, you know what, it's pairs. Guys are in pairs. It's not that it's 3 guys on a line.
The Blues are playing so well here in the second, out shooting the Oilers 5-0.
That's the way you defend, though, Bernie. You throw 3D out there.
Okay. The waters are rough, Hanger.
Take it on water.
Get the sail down right now.
Here comes Ryan Whitney. He scored the Oilers' second goal. Sabot gets center ice. Steps in front of Whitney now, grabbed by Yakupov. And he pulls up on the half-court. Drops it off to Whitney. And then Yakupov again. He goes back to the left point now for Eberle. In for Gagne. Jones screens in front. There's Gagne with 20 to go on the power play. Eberle out of the corner. Gagne looks in front to Jones. Shot and a save by Halak, and it goes off his stick and out of play.
Good save there by Jaro Halak, pushing from his post to the top of the crease, getting his stick on that one. They were looking for Yakupov to Yaro's left. Yakupov right here, a left-hand shot. This is what they're looking for there, but there's no option, so they play it to Jones. So good alternative there on that nifty little pass by Gagne. So you have 2 options right there. The backdoor play to the one-timer to Yakupov, or you've got Jones right there in the front of the net. Pretty good scoring chance.
Yeah, you know, I think the defenseman, which would have been Shattenkirk there, has got to go down to that puck carrier quicker, Tanger. You can't let the guy set up there and have 2 options. Pollock's taking away the one option to slide through the crease, but you got to get to that guy as quick as you can.
Wilson coming off. They allowed 1 shot on that power play. They still trail 2-1. Now for Frangelo or Stewart. He'll scoop it in. He goes after it. And Stewart rolls back to the goal, now to the line, and the Oilers break it up, and here they come. And the speedy Taylor Hall. And run to the inboards by Pollock. Picked up by Eberle. And Schmid had to contend with a bouncing puck.
And that puck just exploded on him right inside the blue line. Boy, that Taylor Hall goes into dangerous areas fast, doesn't he? He went in there on the inside of Roman Pollock and just got his edges there before going skates first into the boards.
Yeah, he's not afraid at all. And after taking that shot in the arm, too, I'm surprised that he's back this quickly, too.
Now Petrell, number 37, that pass. Hit a stick, goes to Schwartz. He moves in, Jaden Schwartz, a shot! And a save by Dubnyk, and Schwartz almost in a second. And then he's buried in the corner. And a penalty coming up here as Schwartz is down. The Blues come in. They did not like that hit, and the arm went up, and now the Blues, trainer Ray Borelli is out there.
Ray Borelli got out there awfully fast. Because everyone's always certainly concerned when you're facing the boards and you end up getting drilled into the boards right there. Schwartz just has a great scoring chance, so they'll be careful in getting Jaden Schwartz off for a line change there. Here's Schwartz coming in now with the puck. So a quick little shot going to the short side. Now he turns and spins. Let's see if he turns at the last second. He kind of does. He's going one way and then makes a little turn. Keep your eye on this here. Going one way here, now he turns. And by that time, Schmid is committed to his hit and is leaning into him in the, from behind. And it's not a violent push, but Schwartz is trying to turn on a dime. I'm not sure what else Ladislav Schmid could do right there.
Yeah, that really was quite harmless, too.
Yeah.
There was no way that he was going to get hurt on that either. He was just going to push.
Pollock got caught in a very similar play a few games ago. And a boarding call to Schmid. The Blues get their second power play. Trailing 2-1. Hall and Whitney have scored for the Oilers. Schwartz for the Blues. Now D'Agostini in for Sabotka. He works in a shot. And the right arm of Dubnyk got up in time. Now Sobotka back for Shattenkirk. In tight. Stewart. Sobotka back to Shattenkirk. Shattenkirk. In tight. Stewart. Sobotka back to Shattenkirk.
D'Agostini was in the high slot with Vladdy Sobotka handling the half boards on the left. So without Steen, Tarasenko, and Andy McDonald, it's a change. There's the shot, and there's the redirection, maybe by D'Agostini, or maybe it goes off the defenseman Petrie. Oh, a beautiful super slow-mo angle there. Here it is here. Nope, it doesn't look like it hits D'Agostini. I think it hits the defenseman Petrie. But it sneaks by the goaltender, Devin Dubnyk, and we have got a tie game.
And the Blues break.
Devin Dubnyk, and we have got a tie game.
And the Blues break. An 0 for 14 drought on the power play. Their first power play goal in 6 games, and it ties it at 2. The goal at 10:30.
YouTube video player views.
And that's last look. It'll be Shattenkirk's goal is second.
Play keyboard shortcut. Pause keyboard shortcut. Speed is the Edmonton. Pause keyboard short. Going. Pause keyboard. Edmonton. Seek slider. Menu item feature. Banner banner. Play keyboard. YouTube video.
Now in for Justin Schultz. Right to the
0%.
And then checked in at the left point by Nick Schultz. Sobotka and Stewart get the assist on that power play goal. And the Blues have fought back from a 2-0 deficit.
Well, for Shattenkirk, when you look at it, his 16 points, the most through 20 games since Al McGinnis had 17 in 01-02. But we'll keep our eye on the front of the net as Stewart now lays it back to Sobotka. The high man is D'Agostini, and it doesn't look like it nibbles off the heel of his blade. It looks like it goes off the right skate of Petrie by the goaltender. Good hard shot by Shattenkirk, who continues to find the net from the point position.
And that did appear to hit the right foot of Petrie. Well, the Billikens take on George Washington tomorrow at 3 o'clock on Fox Sports Midwest Plus. For channel listings, go to foxsportsmidwest.com.
YouTube video.
And there's Blues general manager
0% vertically scroll.
And his club with 2 goals in the second. Schwartz and Shattenkirk. And they fought back to tie it.
Always exciting games playing against the Edmonton Oilers. The Blues have had some pretty good comebacks along the way, including that great game last year by Pietrangelo. And now it's back to being a hockey game right here. Keep in mind a couple of saves that Jarro Halak made. That race for the puck on Eager. And also the save on the power play where Jones has it right in the slot.
Now it's Yakupov into the zone for Belanger. Chip one to the corner. And now grabbed by the Blues, Wade Redden. Shot to the game, 16-8 for the Blues. And then Berglund. He'll send it all the way back to the goal. Dubnyk plays it high on the dasher, and this will squirt to center ice. And then Berglund back for Redden. Shot to the period 8-1 for the Blues. Now Redden, far side. Bounced over the stick of Oshie. And played by Peckham. Changing the puck to center. And then gobbled up by Pietrangelo. His pass blocked. And a 3-on-1 into the zone. Everly to Hall. Right in and diving play by Pietrangelo to break it up. As he atones for his own error. And now Schwartz in for the Blues. That shot hit a stick, goes to the corner. Picked up by Backus. Back to Pietrangelo. On to Schwartz. Schwartz a drive and a blocker saved by Dubnyk.
Boy, Schwartz has got a good release, doesn't he? You can tell that he's got a confident player.
Here's Ben Eager again. And a backhander, Hawk handles that. Eager's got pretty good speed down the right side there.
Sign of a great player, though, when you cough up the puck like Petrangelo did trying to go to the backhand, you don't quit on the play. He got himself right back in, and he's able to nullify a 3-on-1 break.
And the Belly, number 54, picked up by Russell, and he's off to the races. Here's Chris Russell. He'll throw for one of the corner for Sabotka. Oilers have it, but Russell kept it in. And now it is muscled to center ice. Russell again steps up, then is hit by Vandevelde. And back to the Blues line. And Polak. He lost the battle with Vandevelde. With under 6:40 to go in the second period. Russell, long stretch pass for D'Agostini. He waits. He's got the big shot. Lets it go. And that was blocked by Peckham. And now Gagne back to center ice. 3-on-2. Whitney gets the drop pass to Jones. A shot, and that man hit a body on the way through.
Boy, Whitney's been good at jumping into the play, hasn't he? Makes some good plays. Scored a goal in this game. There he makes a nice pass. And another excellent save by Jaro Halak.
And again, has been a healthy stretch for the last 4 straight. Here comes Schmid the other way. In for Gagne. Oilers leading score with 19 points. But Nickel for Reeves, tipped along now to Cracknell. And Cracknell at the line. He makes the safe play. Reeves into the forecheck. But Hemsky emerges from the corner. And kept in there by Nickel. A good back pressure there by Scott Nickel. And Schmid will slow it down for the Oilers. Blues wrapping up a 3-game homestand. And they begin a 5-game road trip Sunday afternoon in Dallas. 2 o'clock start. Belanger at the line, lost it. Perron gets it back to the Blues. In for Stewart. He goes wide and a shot. Big rebound to Berglund. And Dubnyk made the save as Berglund with a pretty good rebound attempt there.
Yeah, pretty good shot from a sharp angle for Stewart actually to have that go off the pad perfectly. And you got your
turnover. Yakupov, and he blasted that one wide as Berglund couldn't handle that hot pass in front of his own goal.
That was from the forward team there for Yakupov. Wow.
Was it ever?
That was a nice Pro V1 X right there, wasn't it, Bernie?
Yeah, I got too much spin on the X1.
And he had the wedge bit of the 3-iron and it shot it high. Now the Blues to center Backus. He was stripped. And Eberle comes in for Edmmonton. Eberle a shot, and that was wide by a couple of feet. Off the boards, this game really opens up. And now Backus. Too far for Schwartz. Oshie thought Schwartz was going to get there.
Yeah, Oshie didn't want to get caught. He wanted to be the third man high. Schwartz thought Oshie was going to take it.
And now Polak steps in to Schwartz. To Oshie a drive, and he put that one high. Now in the slot, Oshie with it. And off his skate for his tip, but he lost the handle. And now Ben Eager in the corner, right into the referee. Schwartz gets it back to the Blues. Deep slot for Sabotka. And then back for Shattenkirk. To D'Agostini. Rolls it in deep now for Sabotka. In a 2-2 game. Sabotka on the cycle. Here's D'Agostini a shot. That didn't get through. And then Porter jams it back to the goal to D'Agostini. Looking for some open space. Now for Sabotka. Can't muscle in front.
Good support there by Porter.
Now Porter for D'Agostini. Throws it back to the goal again. Sabotka, plenty of time. He's in Fedorko's spot behind the net there. Using the net as a decoy. Players don't do that enough, do they, Bernie?
No, they don't. Need to dump that to the front of the net, though.
Back on the line now to Shattenkirk. His shot doesn't get through.
I'm getting dizzy watching these guys cycle into the boards. Rookie, we got to put the net in the corner.
There's 0 shots on goal. A lot of offensive zone time, but nothing to the net.
Yeah, a lot of good support. They're getting the puck down deep and tiring out Edmonton, which is the key for that line. They did a good job, led by Sabotka.
Under 3 to play here in the second period. Blues have scored both goals in this period. Outshot the Oilers 11-3. Now Berglund for Petrangelo. Stretch pass for Perron. Handed on to Jackman. And that goes around the end boards. Controlled by Gagne. Back for Peckham. Pass tipped along by Ryan Jones. And Now the Blues get it back in here to center ice. Back is for Oshie. He wanders in. Oshie, little head fake. And it seems to the inboards by Sam Bradley.
Gandhi did a good job on him defensively right there. He read that play, and Oshie ran out of real estate.
Now Whitney, one hand to back of the goal, right in there for the Blues. And around the back, just not cleared. And Ryan Smith picks it up. Here is Smith, the 37-year-old, for Yakupov. Out high, Petrie, across for Schmid. Looking for the bank play, comes in front. And the Blues in the right spot. Schwartz now to center ice for Backus. And late on a shift, he'll dump it in.
Good position there by Schwartz. He didn't go chasing and running around. The puck ends up right on his tape, moves it right over to Backus, and they're out of their zone.
Schwartz has looked pretty comfortable on that top line tonight. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's had the most jump in his step that I've seen in a while from him. I think he feeds off one another. And the one thing that has been talked about is he's a left-hand shot. And for David Backus, that enables, you know, a guy going forward and putting the puck instead of behind him in front of him.
Now Reeves, he wins a foot race. Reeves back for Pollock. Long shot, hit Nickel on the way through. Now back of the goal. Cracknell makes a good play back for Russell. And Russell's shot was elevated too high. And the Oilers up the middle now for Jordan Eberle in the final minute here. On for Nugent Hopkins to Eberle. Hard shot. And a save by Halak. He bobbles it a bit, but then covers it. 53 to go in the period. Shattenkirk has tied in his first goal in a dozen games. It's 2-2. Well, fans, as you know, tonight is Pink at the Rink night. Each summer, the 14th Fund and Fox Sports Midwest partner to sponsor one of the event's largest teams. And as part of the event, team members and breast cancer survivors sign a banner, which tonight is placed right behind the Blues bench. And thanks to all of you for your continued support. And I have a chance to help out in that event every summer. And in our team, the Blues in Midwest, it gets bigger every year, Darren.
Yeah, it does. And Fox Sports Midwest, they do a phenomenal job, but why wouldn't everybody? Someone close to you, someone you know, has been affected by this dreadful disease. So whatever you do to chip in and help out along the way.
Well, the Blues in this 2-2 game. Oh, it's just offside. Boy, that looked pretty good to me from here, but they ruled it was offside.
It was close. I'm always amazed at these linesmen and how good they are, and for the limited amount of mistakes that these linesmen end up making, it gets so magnified because generally speaking it results in a goal against or something like that. But boy, they are sharp and they're on it. And you see with that whistle that Ken Hitchcock throws out Backus, Oshie, and Schwartz with 38 seconds to go in the period.
And the Blues control the face-off. Here is Schwartz. And he was turned away by Peckham. Eberle back the other way for Edmmonton. Puck in front, but Jackman with it for the Blues. Now Backus ahead for Schwartz. Out of Colorado College is Jaden Schwartz. To the far side, Backus on the forecheck. Now gets some help from Oshie. Here's Oshie back of the goal. He comes in front. Back to Jackman. Jackman to the front. Schwartz backhander. And a save by Dubnyk. Now Oshie again. 5 to go in the period. Blues can't center it. And that will do it. And a superb second period for the Blues.
Yep. Good start by Jaden Schwartz, doing a great job on that line with Backus and Oshie. He scored his second, and then Shattenkirk pounded one home on the power play. Sabotka getting a helper, and this game all tied up at 2.
Shots in that second period, 11-4 for the Blues, and after 2 periods, they've outshot the Oilers 19-11. Let's head over to the Bud Light Zone in Jim Hayes.
Yeah, guys, this place went from real quiet to real loud real quick. The Blues get a couple of goals in the second period. They tie it at 2 apiece. Coming up on the Jack in the Box intermission report, we'll take a look at our dirt cheap hit, see if somebody's giving somebody else the business. Plus, we'll hear from our Hall of Famer, Bernie Federko. And Bernie will give us his take on the second period and what lies ahead for the Blues as they get ready to go to the third period. The Blues having their way with the Oilers in the second period. Goals by Jaden Schwartz and Kevin Shattenkirk. In fact, Jaden Schwartz, who got the Blues on the board, has the headsets on and joins us now. And Jaden, what a difference.
The Blues get back and claw claw their way back in this game, and now they've got themselves a game because Jaden Schwartz got things going, and then Shattenkirk scored.
Here's 2-2 after 40 minutes of play here at Scott Trade as the Blues look to wrap up this three-game homestand with a W. John and Darren back in the broadcast with the Blues with 2 goals in that second. Real good, but Darren, they still gave up a few too many odd-man rushes, as Ray Bennett said during that intermission.
You know, and all the great goalies in the game find a way to battle through it. And there's times in the game, regardless of the score, that can result in a big save. And, you know, when the Oilers scored 2 goals in 23 seconds, it's a 2-0 game late. Now it can be a 3-0 game, and Hemsky comes driving in. Yarrow goes paddle down, makes that save early. Then in the second period, he comes out acrobatically and nullifies what could be a breakaway. And then another golden opportunity on the power play. So it enabled the Blues to get back and claw their way back in this game. And now they've got themselves a game because Jaden Schwartz got things going, and then Shattenkirk scored on the power play.
And Schwartz has led all players tonight with 6 shots on goal. As we go to the third period, tied at 2. Blues this year would even after 2 a record of 3-1-1. Edmmonton is 0-4 when tied after 2.
25-20.
It is Stewart, Berglund, and Perron for the Blues. As Gagne steps in for Edmonton. Between Hemsky and Jones. Underway third period. And the Oilers continue to draw. And that is flipped too high, and it goes out of play.
Well, we talked about that all WCHA college line to begin the game as Ken Hitchcock makes a switch. David Perron went down with Berglund and Stewart. But you look, Jaden Schwartz with his 6 shots, the captain with 3, and you see Oshie with a couple of hits and a helper in this hockey game. So it has paid dividends, and it has been the best overall game, certainly, that Jaden Schwartz has played. He looks sharp on that line.
Now the Oilers back in their own zone. That's lobbed ahead by Hemsky. And on the back check, Stewart. Stolen from Jones.
That puck just won't lay flat, will it?
And the Oilers, Jones tips it in. And Shattenkirk is the first man back for the Blues.
The puck doesn't even look like it's frozen, Banger. It looks like it's like soft rubber.
I totally agree with you. You can really tell. I think some fans don't even realize that these pucks are kept frozen, and by being frozen, they lay flatter on the ice, and they're not so bouncy.
And that's kept in by Pietrangelo. He walked right in and shot, and Dugan makes a great glove save on Pietrangelo, who waltzed in on the right wing.
Another good play, though, by Schwartz on the boards. And Schwartz, a good, quick, alert play, getting it over to Pietrangelo after Pietrangelo didn't bail out on the line. He's got such confidence holding the line, and because of that, he's got help behind him, and now he jumps into the play, tries to go high to the short side. Difficult to do with the big, tall, 6'5", Doobie-Doo.
Where's number 40? An iconic number for a goaltender.
Well, it's a wonderful number. All the greats wore number 40.
Blues win the face-off. Russell a shot.
Rogatin Vashon.
Yes, he did with the Detroit Red Wings. You're right.
And D'Agostini's shot blocked and then fired wide by Sobotka. And then Ben Eager back to get it for Edmonton. And he'll chip it away. Russell swaps one ahead. D'Agostini blew a tire, but kept him moving ahead. And the Blues get it back.
He might have to go to Dobbs. Need to do the tread.
Always nice to get the sponsors a nice mention like that. And Russell on for Nickel. And then to Pollock. In some heavy traffic, but the loose puck is grabbed by Russell. And Chris Russell negotiates his way to center ice. Russell from the tiny town of Caroline, Alberta. A couple of hours south of Edmonton. Fractal on the board, back on the line, Jackman. Over for Pietrangelo, and a shot. That was blocked. Right to Stewart, who didn't know where it was. And then Stewart is taken down by Peckham behind the Edmonton goal. And then Nickel on the forecheck. Ties up Petrell. And a shot by Cracknell got through and a save. Oilers try to clear it. At the line, it does come to center ice and then push back in, and now the Blues make a change on the fly.
Well, Ken Hitchcock really preaching funneling pucks towards the net. And I tell you what, Cracknell takes that advice very well. Good save right there with the right pad on Hemsky. But Cracknell, every chance he gets, he is not hesitating to put the puck on net.
Now the Blues come in. Stewart, that shot was blocked. And now taken by Berglund, back for Shattenkirk. Toward the goal. That's blocked. And the Oilers out the other way. Hemsky lobs it in off a Blues player. Turned to the corner by Halak. And now picked up by David Perron in a 2-2 game. Here's Perron. Trying to hit Berglund down low. That bounced on him. And Vladislav Schmid for the Oilers. And then twisted onto center ice by Sam Gagner.
Pretty good hoister there by Gagner, using the glass and then going for a line change there. But you do not count these Edmonton Oilers out of it. They've got some players that are absolutely dynamic and explosive. Got to keep the foot on the pedal here.
Now Schwartz. Oh, great pass in front and back, snapped it wide. Now Schwartz again. Right in front. Oh, he is there, and he can't get it on goal. Boy, I tell you, Schwartz has been the Blues' best player tonight.
Yet
already a career high with 6 shots on goal after 2. And he has been around the puck all night long.
Little wraparound on his backhand right there, falling to his knees.
Now turned over, right to Schwartz. He looks for Backus, finds Backus, cuts in, and a backhander. And a save by Dubnyk, and then Nugent Hopkins lost his stick. Oilers eager is hit by Backus. And then Russell comes in, but that pass tipped away. Back to center, walked back in by Pollock. Down to Porter. One shot blocked. And now the Blues working on the far side for Sobotka. And Vladdy Sobotka wanders back to the cage. Now a shot. He scores! Sobotka! And it's 3-2 for the Blues.
Oh, my jumping. Does Reynolds is home. The short side. Caught everybody by surprise. So good at protecting the puck. Admittedly had a tough game last night against Chicago. He bounces back as Cracknell gets thrown up there on the right side with Porter and Sobotka. And this one just kind of gets cupped on his blade, goes off the goaltender and into net. Cracknell goes to the front of the net. Man, how did this get in? It looked like Dubnyk had it. It just goes right through him. But again, the team doing a better job of funneling pucks towards the net, and they're being rewarded for that now.
Sobotka's second of the year, first in 14 games since he scored the overtime winner against Minnesota. And the Blues lead for the first time. Now Peckham gets it away from Reeves, and the puck to center ice. So the Blues have scored the last 3, and leading 3-2. As Cracknell gets the assist on the goal by Sobotka. And Porter the secondary assist. Jackman for Pietrangelo. Good pass to Berglund. On to Perron. And then Jackman joins the play. Here's Jackman a drive. Turned away by Dubnyk. Jackman now for Stewart. In behind the goal to Perron. Right up and over. Saved by Dubnyk with his left pad. He rolled David Perron. And the Oilers come back. Here's Gagner. Trying to get free. Runs into Berglund. Berglund off the boards. And the Blues have 3-on-2 to center. But Stewart late on her shift. We'll just dump it in.
Does Dubnyk ever come back with a bounce-back save after that shot by Sobotka squirts underneath him? That was a brilliant save on Perron, who just has to get that up. And instead, the big pad comes swallowing that puck up.
As you would say, doobie-doobie-doo with that save. And now Nick Schultz, number 15. Long stretch pass to Nugent Hopkins. He pulls up, trying to hit Yakupov down low, but Oshie got back to break it up. And the Blues have it. Don't clear Nugent Hopkins in front. Here's Everly, and a backhander is caught off with the left arm of Jaro Halak. And the Blues shoot it down the ice. And Nick Schultz was traded from Minnesota for Tom Gilbert. Now it's Yakupov. He'll twist one back for Schultz. Cracknell and Porter with the assist on the goal by Sobotka at 4:28.
Good for Cracknell, and he's played strong, and so they make a change with he and D'Agostini, and Cracknell gets a point.
And now Sobotka out of the corner, and a shot right on goal, and a save by Dubnik. And then Pollock from the line. That shot failed to get through. And then Pollock again. He wanders in. Wrist shot. Off a stick to the corner. Porter recovers. And now for Cracknell, using his big body back in the Edmonton goal. And then Pollock comes in. Here's Pollock, backhander. And that didn't get to the front. The Oilers played off the boards and out.
Great shift by Roman Pollock. The big boy from the Czech Republic, moving his feet, keeping that puck in the zone, and because of that, the Blues end up getting a couple more chances.
Hey, you mentioned Cracknell with an assist tonight now with 9 points in 27 NHL games.
Come in here and fit in quite nicely.
I like what you said, Panger, about him shooting from sharp angles. There's nothing wrong with doing that, and he's shooting it hard, too, at the net. I mean, Dubnik has let in a couple of, maybe questionable goals, too, so keep shooting it.
Now moves to center right, Stewart. Peckham steps up on him. And now Eberle comes in for the Oilers, one-on-one. Now waits for some late help. To the line to Peckham, a shot. And that triples just wide. Comes back in front. And Jackman in the right spot.
That went off the big boy Petrell right in front of the net. Just dribbled by the glove side of Pollock. Nearly went in.
11:45 left in the third period. The Blues with a 3-2 lead. The go-ahead goal by Sobotka at 4:28. And it's Ryan Whitney, number 6. Now for Schmid, long stretch pass. Here's Hemsky to the front of rather Gagne. That was through the goal crease area. Schmid held it in. Now for Petrie. Gagne on the wing, a drive. That was blocked by Shattenkirk's stick. And the Oilers again on the cycle. Here's Hemsky around the goal. Right in front. Doesn't get it on Halak. Now Hemsky. And his shot tipped wide. And then Schmid could not hold it in on the left point.
Big break there. That was some good sustained pressure by the Hemsky line with Gagne as the center iceman. But the guy to watch here as this game goes on is going to be that Justin Schultz, the defenseman. He'll be jumping into the play in all situations as Edmonton's going to put a push on here.
Now Eberle, pass to the deep slot. And there's a shot right on goal. You mentioned Schultz, and there he was. Good call. Justin Schultz had walked in. And the Blues with it in. Fired to center ice by Oshie. Back in for Eberle. Eberle a shot. Didn't get through. Blocked by Russell. And then Oshie run off the puck in the corner. Oilers have picked it up here in the last 3 minutes. And now Sobotka starts back to center ice. And off the boards and in. As he pressures Nick Schultz. Now Porter helps out. In comes Ryan Reeves. And Reeves to the corner. Reeves gets it back for Porter. Blues in the midst of a line change. Now Nickel trying to get away from his man. Nickel on the cycle for Reeves. Picked up by Cracknell. Now Cracknell stops and starts on Justin Schultz. Cracknell gets it free to Reeves. Back for Jackman. Off the inboards. Comes right in front. That was a set play. As Jackman did not have a shooting lane. Now the Oilers go for a bad line change. Petrangelo a drive and a save by Dubnik. On that 35-footer by Petrangelo. Then a break in the action. 9:37 to go. Sobotka has put the Blues up 3-2. Trying to make it 21 in a row without a regulation loss. An amazing run by Joel Quenneville's club.
Unbelievable. That coaching staff has done a great job there in Chicago.
Now the Blues who lead 3-2. Ron Berglund and Stewart up front. Oilers get it back, and Theo Peckham has it.
You think that Jack Adams is heading over that way?
Coach Quenneville won it, I believe, in 2000. Here's a drive by Belanger right on goal. And a good save by Halak. That shot was tipped on the way through.
Yeah, a little change in the lines here for the head coach of the Edmonton Oilers, Ralph Kruger, because we have not seen Taylor Hall return. So not on the bench, not at this particular point. So a little change up there in rotation. And Belanger with that shot, he's looking for Eager to drive hard to the net. And that nearly handcuffs Halak, but he squeezes it off. Interesting thing about Yarrow Halak, he wears all that white equipment. And Yarrow Halak spent all morning, he loves to have his equipment nice and clean. And he doesn't like it when these pads get dirty. So he gets the oil out, and he just was rubbing this morning and making sure that they look nice and spotless, thinking they look sharper and they look bigger when they're all nice and white and clean. That's a meticulous goaltender, Bernie.
Yes, it's not Snow White, though.
And a try right on goal by Petrie. And that was turned away by the clean white pads of Yarrow Halak. Kept in speed. Off the corner blast. Jones was in the area. Now Schmid pitches in, runs Oshie down. And the puck trickles back to center ice. And now it is Jeff Petrie. Go to the former Tiger pitcher. Oilers come up the middle. Hemsky.
David Bassett had a chance there. Having to go right through Hemsky. Kind of laid off there, didn't he?
Now back us to center ice for Schwartz. And Jaden Schwartz sends it in. Both clubs make changes on the fly.
Yeah, and now D'Agostini rejoins the line of Sabocha and Porter.
And Nugent Hopkins can't get it deep. Petrangelo back to center. Nugent Hopkins again. In for Justin Schultz.
Every time the puck gets into that offensive zone, Schultz and gets on the ice on a line change. There he nearly caught them by surprise again. But the pass was off the mark.
And that's an icy call. Well, Blues fans ever want to take a ride on the Zamboni or participate in one of the intermission games? Well, now you can simply check out the Fan Zone page at stlouisblues.com and sign up.
You were once a Zamboni driver.
Yes, I was at Creve Coeur Ice Arena in Castle Oak here in St. Louis.
With the legendary first bank Joe Ambrose, I believe.
Yes, he was my boss. And he went from a Zamboni driver to the president of first bank.
And you got stuck with me.
One to Redden, but a poke check by Hall. Steps in front of the Oiler player to break it up. Right in front of Hemsky, and now it's finally lobbed away by Cracknell.
Quick read there by Russell. And getting right in front of Hemsky. Otherwise, you give Hemsky a little bit of time. He gives you the 9 of hearts.
Speaking of the 9 of hearts, Everly almost gave one to Redden, but a poke check by Halak. Oilers get it back. And now it's stolen by Schwartz. Center ice to Oshie around Schmid. Here's Oshie to Backus.
Otherwise, you give Hemsky a little bit of time. He gives you the 9 of hearts.
1 hour.
Speaking of the 9 of hearts, Everly almost gave one to Redden, but a poke check by Halak. Oilers get it back. And now it's stolen by Schwartz. Center ice to Oshie around Schmid. Here's Oshie to Backus. Speaking of the 9 of hearts,
they've had plenty of time on the clock here for this tricky Oilers team. But still, the Blues give them credit. Down 2-0 after losing last night against their arch rival, the Blackhawks. They bounce back here.
And a drive by Hemsky goes wide. And then the shot by Jones off a stick on the glass. And now Redden trying to clear it away. Gets some help there from Stewart. And Stewart will fire it in. Oilers for 2 late goals in the first period. Up by 2. Oilers tied it in the second. Goals from Schwartz and Shattenkirk. And 2 more in the third by Sabotka and Backus. And now Redden has it. And around for Backus. Whitney pinches and the Blues get it. And it's Schwartz again for Oshie. Moves in a shot. That was blocked. Gets his own rebound. And the Oilers get it away from Oshie. And now back for Gagne. Under 4 to play, third period. Here's Everly. 1-on-2 and a right pad save by Halak.
How good was Everly in the American Hockey League during the lockout? 25 goals in only 34 games played, and he's still 4th most in the American Hockey League
with 51 points. And the Blues on the attack. Well, Crackle was talking about that this morning. They had quite the team in Oklahoma City, but the Rivermen did beat them one night. All those young stars were down in Oklahoma City,
including Justin Schultz, the defenseman, who had 18 goals in only 34 games played. Amazing.
Even Taylor Hall was down there.
Yeah.
Well, the Blues in their own zone, Pietrangelo. And then for Berglund, with 2:45 to go. Well, Dubnik sets it up for Petrie. And Eager tips it back to center ice. Here's Perron in the forecheck, but the Oilers get it in Belanger to center ice. Stripped of the puck by Backus. Now Perron trying to cut in. And back to the goal, Backus in the area. Puck comes around. And turning is the veteran Ryan Smith. Chopped ahead, Ben Eager. Chopped down by Pollock. And the Blues send it back into the Oilers zone.
Keep your eye on Devin Dubnik. He looked like he was trying to compete there in the bench. Yes, Ralph Kruger is pulling the goaltender. 2 minutes left to go in the game.
Coming up, Missouri Lottery Blues Live. 6 attackers here for Edmonton. Oshie gets it off the window and out. And now played by Whitney for Justin Schultz. 6 attackers. Here are the Oilers. Petrell comes in on the back check. And Pietrangelo broke it up. Oilers play one to the corner. Gagne is hit by Sabotka. And then in the corner, Pollock ran Petrell to the ice. Oilers get it out high. Quick shot. In a stick goes to the near corner. Grabbed by Gagne. Gagne backdoor feed for Jones. He was there.
He was looking towards the point, Justin Schultz, and he fired it right across.
And now Pietrangelo knocks it down. Off the boards and out. And Whitney wins the foot race there against Chris Porter. With 70 seconds left here in the third period. Oilers tip it back in. And Halak sets it up for Jackman. Comes around. And it does roll to center ice. Final minute now in the third period. And Oshie at the empty net. That will go too high.
That would have been something. You don't see that very often. The old alley-oop into the empty net trick.
The old Bob Plager flip shot. Here are the Oilers again. Everly up the middle. Eberle and backhand pass back in front. Now Yakupov shoots it wide. Ryan Smith in front. Nugent Hopkins in the area. And there's Oshie again with that flipper. And back to center ice in the final 30 seconds.
When you work on things in practice, you can execute in the games, and he does it all the time.
Eberle to Ryan Smith, the drive. He put that one high. And then throwing off the far boards with an empty net. There's Perron, and a shot that was blocked. And then Sabotka, who it appears will get the game-winning goal tonight. Oilers get it back, 5 to go.
NHL March 3/12/2014 Edmonton Oilers. See viewers can receive some personal Microsoft.
That will do it. And a superb second period for the Blues.
Yeah, good start by Jaden Schwartz, doing a great job on that line with Backes and Oshie. He scored his second, and then Shattenkirk pounded one home on the power play. Sabotka getting a helper, and this game all tied up into
shots in that second period, 11-4 for the Blues, and after 2 periods, they've outshot the Oilers 19-11. Let's head over to the Bud Light Zone in Jim Hayes.
Yeah, guys, this place went from real quiet to real period.
That got us smooth players.
Wind is straight ahead. The Hall of Famer Bernie Federko will join me right here on set. We're tied at 2 after 2 at Scott Free.
It is 2-2 after 40 minutes of play here at Scott Trade as the Blues look to wrap up this 3-game game.
The Oilers, you know, and all the great goalies in the game, to dive it in, Yarrow goes paddle down, making it enabled Kirk scored up themselves the game because Jaden Schwartz got things going, and then Shattenkirk scored on the power play.
And Schwartz has led all players tonight with 6 shots on goal. As we go to the third period, tied at 2. Blues this year with even after 2, a record of 3-1-1. Edmonton is 0-4 when tied after 2. It is Stewart, Berglund, and Perron for the Blues. As Gagne steps in for Edmonton. Between Hemsky and Jones. Underway third period. And the Oilers control the draw. And that is flipped too high.
Game that Jaden Schwartz has played. He looks sharp on that line.
Now the Oilers back in their own zone. That's lobbed ahead by Hemsky. And on the back check, Stewart. Stolen from Jones.
That puck just won't lay flat, will it?
And the Oilers, Jones tips it in. And Shattenkirk is the first man back for the Blues.
The puck doesn't even look like it's frozen, Banger. It looks like it's like soft rubber.
I totally agree with you. You can really tell. I think some fans don't even realize that these pucks are kept frozen, and by being frozen, they lay flatter on the ice, and they're not so bouncy.
And that's kept in by Pietrangelo. He walks right in and shot. And Dugan makes a great glove save on Pietrangelo, who waltzed in on right wing.
Another good play, though, by Schwartz on the boards. And Schwartz, a good, quick, alert play, getting it over to Pietrangelo after Pietrangelo didn't bail out on the line. He's got such confidence holding the line, and because of that, he's got help behind him, and now he jumps into the play, tries to go high to the short side. Difficult to do with the big, tall, 6'5", doobie-doo.
Where's number 40? Ben Eager back to get it for Edmonton. And he'll chip it away. Russell swaps one ahead. O'Dagostini blew a tire. But kept it moving ahead. And the Blues get it back.
Still loaded.
He might have to go to Dobbs.
YouTube has finished loading.
He didn't tread.
Always nice to get the sponsors a nice mention like that. And Russell on for Nickel.
Recent searches from history.
And then the pull-off. Into heavy traffic. But the loose puck is grabbed by Russell. And Chris Russell negotiates his way to center ice. Russell from the tiny town of Caroline, Alberta. A couple of hours south of Edmonton. Marshall on the board. Back to the line, Jackman. Over for Pietrangelo and a shot. That was blocked. Right to Stewart, who didn't know where it was. And then Stewart is taken down by Peckham behind the Edmonton goal. And then Nickel on the forecheck. Ties up Petrell. And a shot by Perkle got through and a save. Try to clear it. Montalani does come to center ice and then push back in, and now the Blues make a change on the fly.
Ken Hitchcock really preaching, funneling pucks towards the net. And I tell you what, Brassfield takes that advice very well. Good save right there with the right pad on Hemsky. But Bracknell, every chance he gets, he is not hesitating to put the puck on net.
The Blues coming in. Stewart, that shot was blocked.
I really screwed that up.
I didn't know where you were going. Here's Whitney, a shot down the bridge. 2 goals. And Ryan Whitney is first of the year, and it's 2-0.
Teams are getting chances on the rush against the St. Louis Blues that are normally prided themselves on being a great team defending through the neutral zone. But that's not the case here. And this place is as quiet as I've heard it in an awful long time.
1 hour, 1 hour, 32 minutes, 30 seconds of 1 hour, 36 minutes, 3 seconds.
More of the celebration, so what a night for the Blues, guys.
And tonight's Bud Light player of the game is the rookie, Jaden Schwartz. The native of Melfort, Saskatchewan, with a heck of a night. 2 points and a career-high 6 shots on goal.
When a night when it's pink at the rink, we all know that Jaden Schwartz lost his sister Mandy to acute myeloid leukemia a little while ago. A special night for Jaden Schwartz and a wonderful opportunity playing on the top line with Backus and Oshie. Boy, he didn't disappoint. He had an excellent hockey game, as did Backus and TJ Oshie.
So the Blues win it 4-2. They go to 11-7 and 2. The Oilers fall to 8-4. And the Blues have now won their last 6 games at home against Edmonton. Time for the 3 stars.
3 stars of tonight's game. The game's 3rd star, scoring 1 assist and playing out a forward for the Blues, number 79, Adam Cracknell. The game's 2nd star with 1 goal and 1 assist, playing in a forward for the Blues, number 17, Vladimir Sobotka. And the game's 1st star with 1 goal and 1 assist.
1 hour, 31 minutes, 21, 1 hour, 30.
Well, the 1st star of the game, Jaden.
1 hour.
Well, the 1st star of the game, Jaden Schwartz. Congratulations, Jaden. How good does this feel to get a big win especially after the loss last night against the Blackhawks?
Yeah, it's nice. It's our last home game for a while, and it's a big win for us. Down 2-0, coming back and scoring 4 unanswered is pretty special.
I was going to ask you about that. You guys are down actually a pretty good first period you played. A couple of mistakes within 30 seconds. You're down 2-0. What was said in the locker room? Was it amongst the guys, or did Ken Hitchcock say something to you after that first period?
Well, we did play pretty good that period. One thing we haven't been doing as much as we'd like is playing a full 60 minutes. We took a couple minutes off. Bang, bang, it's 2-0 for them. So I think something we're learning still is you got to play full 60 minutes. And against skilled forwards like that, you can't make mistakes or turn pucks over. So, Hitch that stuff, but we knew we had to be better too.
And for you, new line mates tonight in Backus and Oshie, I know you haven't had the offensive time that you've liked so far this season, but how did it feel? Well, congratulations on winning the